Lexus has long been considered something of a pioneer in the motoring world. Formed by parent company Toyota in the late 1980s, it was one of the very first premium offshoots from a mainstream brand, and was one of the first to advocate hybrid technology across its range. But in a world where the crossover rules, it has, until now, fumbled along with just two sports utility vehicles. While cars like the BMW X1 and Audi Q3 have racked up thousands of sales, Lexus has sat back and watched. But today, all of that changes, because today we are driving the all-new Lexus UX. It's a C-segment coupe-styled crossover designed to hit the Germans exactly where it hurts. But this car's got a trick up its sleeve, because it's a hybrid. In the UK, the all-new Lexus UX will come with just one engine choice. The 2-litre hybrid motor produces 176 horsepower and is capable of 0 to 62 in 8.5 seconds. Lexus reckons most buyers will opt for the front-wheel drive car, but an E4 all-wheel drive model is also available. But that all-wheel drive system isn't designed for you to take your UX too far off the beaten track. It's an on-demand system, so it activates when it senses slip, for example in adverse weather conditions or perhaps in oversteer or understeer situations. The gearbox, like in all other Toyota and Lexus hybrids, is a kind of CVT, but it's much smoother than it was before. It's much more linear in its power delivery, and in a majority of situations, it's far more pleasant to use. Based on an evolution of Toyota's TNGA platform, which underpins the excellent Prius hybrid and CHR crossover, Lexus claims one of the UX's main goals is to be a sporty crossover that drives like a hatch. The first thing you'll notice when you get in the UX is how pleasingly low the driving position is. It's definitely more crossover than it is SUV, which is an interesting take in the current climate. While our route, so far at least, has been pretty much completely urban, the UX feels actually really quite direct, with well-weighted steering and a really compliant chassis. The UX uses a revolutionary new setup that allows engineers to mount the steering rack directly to the subframe. It works well, and mated to that new platform and multi-link rear suspension ensures the UX drives really quite nicely. It's more than quick enough, with loads of grip and tight body control. The ride is actually really well judged too. Our car has got the adaptive variable suspension, which adjusts the car's parameters up to 10,000 times per second. It irons out all but the very worst lumps and bumps around town, and while sharper potholes can catch it out at speed, there's really very little cause for concern. Refinement is pretty good as well. Some of Sweden's rougher roads do cause a bit of tyre roar, but on the whole, the UX really is quite a quiet place to spend some time. It's also impressively economical. While the figures are yet to be confirmed, Lexus is targeting between 65 and 69 mpg for the UK-bound hybrid version, alongside sub 100 gram per kilometre CO2 emissions for those on the smallest wheels. Go for the F-Sport car and you'll see a small rise in running costs, but it's likely to be negligible in the real world. So space back here isn't too bad really. I know it might look cramped, but I've actually got plenty of headroom and knee room isn't too bad. There's only a small transmission tunnel, so sitting in the middle seat isn't too cramped either. We don't actually have numbers for boot space yet, but on looks alone, it does look a little bit below class average. Lexus is trying to work out a way of lowering this boot floor and giving you a bit of space underneath, but on looks alone, it does look a little bit on the tight side. Of course, you can just lower the seats for a bit more space. Prices and specs haven't been announced, but a starting figure of around £30,000 is likely. Flagship F-Sport cars will top out at around £35,000, with four-wheel drive cars carrying a slight premium. In keeping with other Lexus models in the range, expect all cars to come with a long list of standard kit, including alloy wheels, a widescreen sat-nav and plush cabin materials. While perhaps not as conventional as a BMW X1 or Audi Q3, there's plenty to like about the new Lexus UX. If you want a dose of crossover style and a smart to drive, cheap to run package, this could be just the car for you. Click the videos for a first drive of another new Lexus, the ES, and for one of the UX's closest rivals, the BMW X2. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and press the Auto Express logo to subscribe to our channel.